What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most requested reviews analysis, so stick around. You don't want to miss this. But before we get into that, if you're considering a purchase, don't miss out on this incredible discount available right now. Check the description below and the pinned first comment. Now, let's not delay any further and jump right into the details.
To get things started, let's hear from our first reviewer.
This reviewer needed a solution for weak Wi-Fi at the far end of their ranch-style house. They opted for this access point, initially purchasing one unit. A major selling point for our client was its support for Power over Ethernet (PoE), which simplified installation by requiring only a single network cable for both data and power. While they had their own PoE switch, they noted that the device conveniently includes its own power injector, which is a nice touch. The initial setup was quite straightforward, first using a mobile app to get things running and later accessing a more detailed web interface through a browser for advanced tweaks. While the signal was strong up close, our reviewer was a bit let down by its range through several walls, as it didn't quite reach a home office that had always been a dead zone. This led them to purchase a second unit, creating a triangle of coverage with their main router and the two access points. This setup solved the issue completely. They did discover a performance bottleneck early on, realizing their old PoE switch was limiting speeds. After upgrading to gigabit switch, the access points delivered their internet connections full throughput. One feature this client really appreciated was the ability to create multiple SSIDs, easily replicating their main and guest networks. Their devices now seamlessly roam between the router and the access points, always connecting to the strongest signal. The physical installation was a bit challenging, as the twist-to-lock mounting bracket was very tight and required a surprising amount of force to secure. The only other significant drawback was that updating the firmware wiped all settings, forcing a full reconfiguration. Despite these minor frustrations, the end result was a massive success, transforming dead zones with barely usable internet into areas with fast, reliable coverage. They highly recommend this access point for anyone looking to.
Let's begin by examining the insights provided by our first reviewer.
This reviewer, while possessing some basic networking knowledge from years ago, was initially looking for a straightforward solution for a home network upgrade. They specifically wanted to avoid the complexity of setting up a dedicated controller or having a server running constantly just to manage the network. This access point proved to be an ideal choice, offering a standalone mode with its own built-in web interface. A reviewer found this made it simple to configure all the basic settings and even access advanced features, like a scheduler they planned to use to manage their children's internet access times. Upon installation, the performance was what truly impressed them. Despite their internet plan's speed, wireless tests showed results that were surprisingly even faster. In their old house with signal-blocking plaster walls, this access point delivered a remarkably strong and stable connection. The 5 GHz band provided excellent speeds in the same room and maintained very usable performance even rooms away, a significant improvement over their previous setup. While the 4 GHz signal dropped off more noticeably with distance, the strength of the 5 GHz connection alone made it a clear winner for their challenging environment. Our client also appreciated the thoughtful physical design and features. The unit was more compact than anticipated, and they praised the simple but brilliant option in the user interface to turn off the status LED. A major selling point was its ceiling mount design, which they chose over common mesh systems to prevent kids from tampering with it or accessing a physical Ethernet port. The experience was so positive that despite their initial goal of simplicity, they are now seriously considering expanding their setup with the brand's full management software and additional access points.
Awesome. Let's hear what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer was struggling with Wi-Fi coverage in their 3-story townhouse. The SB-provided router, while decent, just couldn't push a strong signal to the top floor, resulting in slow speeds and packet loss, especially when multiple devices were in use. Our reviewer decided to try out this access point, leveraging the existing Ethernet cables installed throughout the house. The initial setup proved quite straightforward. Mounting this device to the ceiling was a breeze, and while it comes with drywall anchors, it felt secure enough with just a few screws. Our reviewer did have a slight mishap while identifying the correct cable, accidentally sending power through their cable tester and unfortunately frying it. A good reminder to disconnect any testing equipment before applying power over Ethernet. Once properly connected, this access point sprang to life without issue. Configuring it through a web browser was simple, and our reviewer appreciated the option to disable the status LED for a cleaner look. The integration with the existing router was surprisingly seamless. The router recognized the access point, and devices effortlessly switched between the two networks. The result, a significant boost in Wi-Fi speed on the top floor, where before they were getting barely 100 Mbps, they are now seeing speeds upwards of 300 Mbps. This client could finally enjoy uninterrupted streaming and browsing. The improvement was so dramatic that the reviewer's original plan to buy multiple units and a dedicated controller has been put on hold. This single access point effectively eliminated the most problematic dead spot in the house, providing reliable coverage throughout all 3 floors. Upgrading further is now considered a luxury rather than a necessity.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you next time.